So I would like to uh, call to order and start the meeting. Is that this one? Okay. So good morning, colleagues and Maranas. We'd like to call to order and for today's meeting, it is now 10:04, and today is 23rd of August, 2023. And I would like to move to the part two on adoption of the agenda. All right. You seconded. All right. And then, so it has been seconded. So we adopt the agenda. Any would like to move to part three? Any discussion? Ready? All right. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Motion adopted. Okay. And now we'll move to public comments. No public comments. All right. So we'll move to part four, new business on the Commonwealth Utility Corporation Reserve Funds. Any comments?
Chair, are you asking us for comments, or you want to read first the title of the first item on the agenda and then guide us through?
All right. So on the new business on part A, Commonwealth Utility Corporation Reserve Funds. So under the stipulated order number one, it was mentioned that the CUC has to have by law reserve funds. Was mentioned in the stipulated order. And we would like CUC to inform us if they do and to show us proof that they do have the reserve funds. The reserve funds are supposed to be set aside for emergency use and for emergency use only. It is not to be commingled with any other funds.
Chair, may I request for recess, please?
Okay. Recess? Can we go Thank you. We're back in session. I would like to recognize my colleague, Representative BJ Ato.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I know that under new business, we have items A, B, C, and D, and so far we haven't received any information regarding these issues that are currently on the agenda under new business. So I'd like to make a motion that we allow the chairman to send out a letter requesting these specific informations specifically to items A, B, C, and D to the various entities. So move.
Any discussion? Right. We recognize
Just a
Representative.
thank you,
Yeah.
Chair. Just a request on the formal request to set a deadline on the to receive the documents. No?
Okay, so that means we'll give them until mid-September. So we'll set a deadline date to gather all of this information.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes in the middle of September. I
Sure.
also understand that we have the budget that we're taking care of.
Yeah.
So do you guys want to set this in a later date until after the budget? I recognize Representative Flores.
Thank you, Chair. May I suggest that we send the letters out once we uh, adjourn from this meeting in regard to items A through D, number one. Number two, set the deadline. Maybe, I don't know, I guess OGA is 10 days from the date of when you send the letter. And then once you receive the letters, then distribute that to the committee and then call another committee hearing to take the next action because we've already received the initial requests from items from this meeting. So I think for me, may I suggest, with all due respect, Chairman, send the letter as soon as possible, give the deadline of 10 days, and then once they have received that, distribute that information out to the committee. That's my recommendation. Thank you. I yield.
So once we get the 10-day, give them the 10 days to respond. If we are going to set another meeting, would it be okay that we set it sometime after October? And that way we can focus on the budget, right? Would that be fair? Right? It also give time for the public to absorb all the information that we're about to send out, right? Okay, so can we second that we'll get the OGA, give them the 10 days, and then set another date after the budget issue for sometimes in October?
Point of clarification, Mr. Chairman. That's going to be on the letter. We have a standing motion right now regarding this letter that's going to be sent out. I think we should dispose of that motion first, and then we can talk about the details of the letter. No?
So we'll go back to the first motion. Okay, all right. Okay. Ready? Okay. All in favor? All those opposed? Motion carried. So can we move on to part E? Yes? Okay, second. All right. So we'll move on to part E on House Bill 2359 to transition government electric rates to commercial rate and for other purposes. Any objection or discussion? I recognize Representative Atta.
Can we ask for a short recess, Mr. Chairman, please?
All right, short recess. Right, we're back in session, and I would like to recognize Representative BJ Yato.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As per our discussion during our recess, we actually had a version that we addressed already, the changes that are needed to effectuate the legislation under House Bill 23-59 in the form of substitute one. So move that we adopt that version first.
Motion has been seconded. And discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. All right, motion carried. We're back in session, so we are be discussing House Bill 2359 and version of House Substitute 1. Any discussion? I recognize Representative Ato.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And with the version that we're discussing right now, I believe that we've already addressed that utilities includes water, wastewater, and power. Those were the specific changes under substitute one. And if there's no objection from the members, I move that we formulate a committee report for adoption of 23-59 House Substitute 1 so we can send it to the House for action. So move.
Motion has been seconded. And all in favor, say aye. Is there any discussion? Ready? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Motion carried. Right. All right, so we'll move to section 5, miscellaneous. I recognize Representative Ato.
I'll yield for Rep. Castro, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Representative Rep. Castro.
Chairman, as you're aware, the SNIO PUC committee recently invited CUC in for to give them an opportunity to address some of the issues or inform the public and the committee on specifically the sewer issue in precinct 2. Um, you know, I was informed by my staff that we got communication from their executive director that they weren't able to make it. So this issue is really bad within our precinct. No one should be seeing a sewage leak in front of their property, and there's multiple residents that are experiencing that, especially in the Susupi area. They can't even cut the grass because the sewer is just toxic, and you can see, you know, people's waste floating over their driveway, and then it's going into the storm drain across into Susupi Market, and it even some residents that live on the second and third floor like that, the fumes from that is, you know, going to their residences. It's really it needs to be addressed. So I'm just hoping that this committee can either subpoena CUC and have them come in and explain what's their plan of action, because that's what our people deserve. Like, no one should be experiencing what, you know, what they're experiencing right now in precinct 2. Susupi is just one aspect, but throughout, pretty much, like, if you drive through there, you'll see the roads are all messed up, and these can also affect private property, like the foundation, um, when the line is collapsing, and it turns into basically a centralized septic tank instead of a centralized sewer system. So um, hopefully they can come in and address that. And I'm asking if you can require them to come in and explain themselves. Thank you, Chair. Are you?
Thank you, Rep. Castro. I recognize Rep. Flores.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Rep. Atal, for your guidance in navigating through this bill. I know that this bill has been in discussion since before the 23rd legislature, and to have this actually actually have it formulated out of this committee gives a sense of closure, not only to CHCC, but rectifies a lot of issues in regard to conserving and spending wisely. I do have to also echo what Rep. Castro's saying, and I know his love for his precinct as well, and I commend that. This is a Commonwealth problem, yet again. This affects everybody. And my hope is that at some point, CUC, when this committee brings them in, they will answer to the pleas of the public. Because when you're talking about hazard and you're talking about health hazard, septic issues is a main concern. We have the same, and we share the same problems in our precinct. And this goes back to years prior to us being here. But moving right along and closing out on my sentiment is CHCC now has no reason to not pay their bill. And I hope that Madam Secretary with this and shows her that we're also trying to help her. But she now has to do her due diligence. She has to lead. She has to formulate a budget that works, and she's got to pay her CUC bill. The ratepayers will no longer pay her the inability for any government entity to not pay their bill. But please bring in CUC. I hope that they can come in and answer a lot of the questions that the public and our constituents have. Thank you, I yield.
Thank you, Rep. Flores. I recognize Rep. Sablan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And also, I wanted to request that when you do, Mr. Chairman, reach out to CUC, that you also request what are the pending projects within the island of Saipan as a whole, and with regards to water, sewer, and power for that matter, so that we don't prolong our, and so that they are prepared to answer our questions, because as some of the issues that were addressed earlier are really health hazard, and they deal with sewer issues. And I know that in the past few years that perhaps UC were awarded some federal grants, EPA grants, or even for that matter, CIP projects. And uh, it's important that we also be informed on what's ongoing with regards to sewer and power, and what's uh, uh, being applied, or grants that are being applied at the moment to address all these serious concerns. Thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Sablan. I recognize Representative Ogo.
Thank you, Chair. Aside from the CUC request for those documentations and information, we also want to request from CPA on line C and D, and also regarding the lease agreements, if you can also provide us those informations. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Ogo. We will get those documents and we'll provide it out to to the committee. I recognize Vice Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I can recall correctly, our last meeting we had with CUC and their key management team, it was mentioned that the government has an outstanding balance with the CUC and vice versa, where CUC has a outstanding balance with the central government. So I hope with this House substitute bill that we adopted, I hope it can kind of like settle that uh, whatever outstanding bills. So just wanted to throw that out. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Anybody else? Okay, I would like to comment on our agenda as well. So, with the House substitute, House Bill 2359, House Substitute 1, we are, with the Senate version of the Senate Bill number 2337, Senate Draft 1, we are incorporating language in that bill that we included in House Bill 2351 on House Substitute 1, that it would be all government agencies. So we want to make sure that everybody understands that we're not just talking about energy, and we're not just talking about the government itself, but that is to include the autonomous and semi-autonomous agencies. When we talk about utilities, we're talking about water, wastewater, and power. In that way, no government agencies will be coming to the legislature requesting legislative assistance in, providing some sort of assistance. So this would take care of that. I do also want to comment on Representative Castro with regards to the sewer. Yes, you are absolutely right. Nobody in the CNMI should be suffering, with the stench of fecal matter flowing in front of their house or any such thing, because it is a violation of EPA regulations, along with health issues and whatnot. So we have to take care of that, and we will get CUC in here, and we will demand that they, what is their plan and when are they going to execute it? Because we also do understand, as Representative, Sablan said, EPA grants CUC millions of dollars annually for water and wastewater. So how long and how much money do they need that this thing has been going on forever and a day? So we will, with your permission, we will get the committee together to vote to get CUC in here and to have an answer for the public. And they better have a goal and a plan on how to rectify this issue as soon as possible. Right. Recess. We're back in session. I would like to recognize the vice speaker or vice chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So moving next on our agenda is the adjournment, subject to the call of the chair. Thank you.
Motion has been seconded.
Motion has been seconded. Chairman,
So motion have been seconded to adjourn and. What? All in favor? All opposed? All right, so meeting has been adjourned.